Mike Epps, the name that makes people laugh the moment they hear it. But behind the comedy, behind the Hollywood spotlight, lies a story that's anything but funny. His life wasn't just built on jokes and punchlines, it was built on chaos, fame, and scandals so wild that most people never imagined the truth. From the highs of blockbuster movies to the lows of personal battles that almost destroyed everything, Mike's journey is one of shocking twists, hidden struggles, and raw reality. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on the side of Mike Epps that the cameras were never meant to capture. He was born Michael Elliott Epps on November 18, 1970 in Indianapolis. From day one, he had a gift, the kind of humor that could light up a room. But what started as childhood jokes would soon collide with a reality that wasn't funny at all. As a teenager, Mike dreamed big. He wanted to turn laughter into something real. But success? It didn't come easy. Picture this: tiny comedy clubs with only a handful of people in the crowd, dim lights, no applause, and a young Mike Epps fighting to prove he belonged. Most people would have quit, but not him. Every joke, every late night on stage, every empty seat in the audience was fuel. He knew he had something different, something powerful, and that unshakable belief would push him to make a life-changing move. He packed his bags, left Indianapolis, and headed straight for Atlanta. That's where everything started to shift. On those Atlanta stages, Mike's wild energy finally began to break through. People couldn't ignore him anymore. He wasn't just another comic, he was unforgettable. And that was only the beginning. His humor was unvarnished, boisterous, and unpredictable. This is the startling part, though. Mike refused to follow the rules, while other comedians attempted to be safe and clean in order to get accepted. His jokes reflected his own personality and were raw and surprising. At this point, fate took a surprising turn, and he started to ascend in the direction of something far greater. His 1994 move to Brooklyn and appearance on Def Comedy Jam marked a significant turning point in his life. For him, everything changed on that stage. He was suddenly more than simply a face in the crowd. People recognized him as the comic. His wild approach was adored by the audience, and he quickly became a household celebrity. It becomes intriguing at this point. Not only was his humor humorous, but it was also somewhat risky. He stood out in a manner that no one else could because he combined risk and fun. After that, he began to have opportunities in Hollywood. He became a star overnight after landing his breakout role as Day Jones in the popular movie Next Friday. His character was so relatable and funny that people adored it. He was now well known after bringing the same enthusiasm to the follow-up Friday After Next. Here's the startling bit though. He was not calmed by fame. Rather, it allowed him the freedom to be even wilder. He demonstrated his ability to play major action parts by taking on subsequent projects like Resident Evil Apocalypse and Resident Evil Extinction. What is unique about this story? Mike was demonstrating that he could transition between humor, action, and even music, in contrast to many comedians who were limited to just one genre. By 2006, Mike had grown dissatisfied with his career as an actor and comedian. He wanted more. He launched his own record company, Naptown Records, in this manner, breaking into the music industry. It appeared to be another wise decision at first, but the most absurd portion was still to come. Filthy Phil, a rapper just released from prison, was one of the artists he signed. Giving him another chance was the plan, but destiny took a surprising turn. Filthy Phil was arrested once more within a year, this time on suspicion of murder. Mike was forced to immediately sever his ties after his name was suddenly linked to a severe criminal tale. This cloud over his musical career made it clear to everyone that his path would not be easy. Mike Ebb's career started to take on a more sinister tone following the record label scandal. People began to see that he was more than just a funny guy. Even if his comedy was still selling out cinemas and his films were becoming more popular, his comedic approach sparked heated discussions. While some people chuckled at his frequent jokes about delicate subjects like disabilities, many others were extremely upset. Social media became a battleground with incessant criticism aimed at him as parents and advocacy organizations came forward to claim that his jokes were offensive and harsh. This is the startling part though. Mike wouldn't say sorry. He refused to let anyone tell him what boundaries he could or could not cross, stating that comedy was about freedom. It becomes intriguing at this point. The controversy was only exacerbated by his unyielding attitude. What distinguishes the story? When faced with this kind of criticism, most comedians would back down, but Mike decided to keep the flame burning by responding with even more audacious jokes. His life away from the stage was equally turbulent. Allow me to share one of the most unexpected experiences with you. He and LeVar Walker, another comedian, got into a physical brawl. LeVar's video, which made fun of Mike and Kevin Hart, was the beginning of it all. Comedians usually shrug these things off, but Mike didn't. The most absurd aspect was that Mike allegedly confronted LeVar and his bodyguards after seeing the video, and the altercation allegedly descended into violence. After the police intervened, he was soon the subject of an arrest warrant. You won't believe the speed at which his reputation changed from one of a humorous guy to one of a dangerous and unpredictable one. Not only that, but there was another occurrence that stunned both reviewers and admirers. Mike once brought a live kangaroo onto the stage during one of his stand-up performances. The audience initially chuckled incredulously, but things quickly became serious. The crowd's enthusiasm gave way to worry as the animal appeared upset and uneasy. Animal rights organizations sprang in and charged him with cruelty. Later, Mike expressed regret and claimed that the behavior was unplanned. This is the startling part, though. His apologies were unsuccessful. The harm was already done, and his reputation took even another severe hit from the outcry. Destiny took a surprising turn once more, demonstrating that Mike was always surrounded by controversy. The controversies only become more pressing over time, and Mike's life continued to unfold in the same turbulent manner. He stunned everyone on the All the Smoke podcast in early 2024 with an unexpected disclosure. He acknowledged that he had previously abused, deceived, and made false promises to women. This was not just another casual statement. I assure you, it was an intensely intimate admission. He even stated that he wanted to change his ways and learn how to treat ladies well before he passed away. This is the startling part, though. People didn't view it as a positive development. Rather, it sparked a barrage of criticism directed at him. The focus was on his marriage to producer Kira Robinson, whom he has been seeing since 2019. Mike had to repeatedly apologize as fans started to doubt his loyalty and regard for women. It becomes intriguing at this point. The public's mistrust of him grew as he apologized more. The most absurd aspect was that, despite his efforts to portray a more compassionate and truthful side, people only saw his prior transgressions. His weakness turned into yet another source of contention. What is unique about this story? People typically feel sorry for celebrities who acknowledge their shortcomings. Mike, however, had the opposite effect. People did not forgive him because of his confession. They became even more critical of his character as a result. Here, destiny took an unexpected turn, and rather than repairing his reputation, he had to contend with yet another personal crisis. Another conflict was just waiting to blow out, as if that wasn't enough. This time, it was with none other than Shannon Sharpe, a sports broadcaster and former NFL player. When Mike made jokes about Shannon's sexual orientation during a stand-up show, the result was anarchy. In a heated public debate, Mike threatened to divulge private messages, and Shannon responded with his own cautions. Social media was ablaze with arguments about who was right and who was wrong as the feud turned into front-page drama. The speed at which this altercation progressed will astound you. It even got to the point where a face-to-face meeting was scheduled to defuse the situation. This is the startling part, though. The damage had already been done by then. Mike was once again viewed by the Globe as a drama magnet, incapable of avoiding arguments and disputes. Despite the constant turmoil, scandals, and controversies, Mike Epps' career continued to grow. He actually continued to rise higher, demonstrating that his talent was resilient enough to withstand the storms. People who still enjoyed his unvarnished and unpolished comedy packed theaters as he toured through large towns like Cleveland and Washington, D.C. He was also thriving on TV at the same time, particularly with Netflix blockbusters like The Upshaws, and even appearing in Apple TV shows with Natalie Portman and other celebrities. Let me tell you, Mike demonstrated to the world that he had the ability to recover no matter how many times his name made headlines for the wrong reasons. This is the startling part, though. For him, success did not equate to peace. He was constantly being pursued by controversy. He demonstrated yet another aspect of his inventiveness when he entered the writing profession and co-wrote the movie Ready to Sell Out. Nevertheless, he was followed like a shadow by rumors of his past, his altercations, his confessions, and his stunts. What distinguishes the story? Mike seemed to get stronger from the scandals, almost as if he was thriving off of them, while many other celebrities crumbled under their weight. It becomes intriguing at this point. Fans kept coming even after his image was repeatedly questioned. Despite their disagreements and laughter, they never looked away. Destiny's life has taken many unexpected turns, yet he always managed to get back up after each one. The most absurd aspect about Mike Epps' narrative is that it never seemed to have a conclusion. Every dispute brought about a new development. Every error sparked a new discussion, and every apology sparked a new controversy. He also displayed signs of maturity in the midst of all. He has been candid in recent interviews about his desire to be a better guy, particularly for his children and the ladies in his life. Although he acknowledged his shortcomings, he also pledged to improve. One thing was certain: whether or not people believed him. Unlike other comedians, Mike Epps was unique. He lived a life that was filled with debate, suffering, and humor. You'll be shocked to learn how much more might happen. However, there's no doubt that his narrative is far from over, and the next twist could be the most significant one yet.